Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Throwback Thursday. I'm here with Owen, and we're going to do something different today. Owen has been playing the Battlefleet Gothic video game a bunch.
Battlefleet Gothic Armada.
And what was cool about it is I watched one of his videos for like the first time ever. He's so foul about it. You guys shouldn't watch it. It's just terrible.
I wouldn't watch it.
I wouldn't watch. No one should watch. It's just, it's abhorrent. But anyway, while he was playing the game, he was doing one of the missions from the beta. So there's a bunch of like cool different sort of like unique things. And what we thought would be cool was to try and play Battlefleet Gothic with the missions from the video game. So this one's, what's it called? It's the data grab one.
Data recovery.
Data recovery.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we've made, and what I'll do is I'm actually gonna have this typed up. It'll be in the video description below. Mission, like a scenario pack for data grab. And what it is it's a boarding action, so you have to try and board each other. We're using fleet lists that are roughly the same size as the amount of ships that you would get in a game of the beta for Battlefleet Gothic.
Yep.
So it's about 500 points, and we're gonna try and give it a go and see if it's a viable, fun, well, it's gonna be viable and fun because it's just Gothic. It'll work in either game because they're almost direct translations. Like you were looking at
the numbers are almost identical. Like if you look at the comparisons between the stuff, they are almost the same.
Because it's like 800 hit points is 8 boxes.
Yeah.
Right. And
200 shields is 2 shields.
Right. Because what the added numerical value gives you basically is time. So how long, like for one hit, how long do you have to be hitting someone in hit points basically to take it? And with what? Yeah.
You just modify the damage accordingly.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting to watch it scale up, but it translated really well. So what we did is we sat down and I went through with him and we asked, how does it work in the video game? How could we make it work in the video in the actual tabletop game? So we're gonna give it a go. We'll show you the fleets. We'll run through the mission for you and we'll get started. All right, so we've already rolled off for attacker and defender, and I am the defender. Now, in data recovery, what that means is your admiralty ship, so your capital ship, basically, that's leading your fleet. And in a 500-point game of Battlefleet Gothic, we don't have any characters, but it would be whoever had the, I guess, highest leadership. I'm nominating my Mars to be the capital ship. They will have the data packet, and the data packet can be taken away by winning a boarding action. So you don't have to destroy the ship, but you have to win a boarding action, so have the highest result in a boarding action, and that will get you the data packet. And then that ship that won the boarding action will be the one carrying it. And what you want is you want to get off the board, so jump to warp, and you're able to do that after the 6th turn and be in possession of the data packet. So I have to either try and basically hang on to it, and Owen's trying to get it captured off me. Now, the attacker, to represent the sort of blind deployment in Battlefleet Gothic, sorry, in the video game Battlefleet Gothic, is that what it's called? Battlefleet Gothic Armada? That's what it's called, yeah, okay. They would have contacts instead of ships. So I've got 2 Dauntlesses and a Mars here as my fleet. In the video game, you'd only see the capital ship. It'd be the only thing deployed, and everything else would be contacts too, but just for the sake of this game, we're gonna have my stuff all deployed. Owen's gonna have a contact for every ship. That includes all the ships in a squadron. And they get to be placed anywhere on the table, not within 30 of one of my ships and not within 30 of each other. And they get...
oh, we're doing it like the convoy?
Yeah, we're just going to do them anywhere on the table.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
That's the... Oh, sorry, no, we're going to...
Because the mission is just along a strip in the middle.
In the video game, it's along a strip in the middle, isn't it? Okay, that's what we're doing. So you said in the middle. So
yeah. Sorry.
But they can't be within 30 of each other in this game.
Yeah.
So you'll place them anywhere you want along the middle line of the table, and I'm trying to basically get away from you. If I come within 30 of one, it gets revealed, and Owen can also voluntarily reveal one at the start of any game turn, basically, as well. So we're going to deploy, and we'll show you the table after deployment. We've got a nice mat here from Urban Mats. It's a nice, simple star field. I think the ships pop off it really well. And some classic BFG terrain, some asteroid fields, moons, planets, and that's pretty much it. We've even got the blip counters for the old contacts. So we'll show you deployment after we're done. All right, so we are deployed, and what we have is a 10-centimeter strip on either side of the center line that the contacts can basically deploy into, and I've got a 15-centimeter standard deployment strip for my ships. So I've gone Dauntless, and a Mars. They've done a picket line, and we'll roll right now to see who goes first. First turn. It's going to be me. So this will be an 8-turn game. It requires a complete turn without being boarded for you to jump to warp, basically. So you can only jump to warp after turn 6. And if I'm currently being boarded at the time, that will suck. The game will end at the 8th turn, though, and whoever's in possession will win. So you can either win by warping out, or you can win by being in possession when time ends. All right, starting with this Dauntless, he's going to turn. He can turn up to 90. Oh, sorry, he has to move first. Whoops, what am I doing? He's not a... whatchamacallit, escort. He's going to go 10 up to here. Whoops. Then he's going to turn. And then he can go another 15. And he's going to go another 15. Like so. And that should reveal these 3 contacts. Reveal a Slaughter, a Carnage, and an Idolator. And now I get to move my next units. No special orders at this point. We're just going to move forward 15 straight ahead. And then another 10, like so. It's funny, trying to find a measuring widget in centimeters is impossible, so you get relegated to using things like school trigonometry sets. And then the Mars is simply going to go forward 10 to 5, like so. Phase. Drop a torpedo salvo here, torpedo salvo here. I don't think either of these have arc for guns on the side. Definitely not. And this guy right here, definitely not. And then, of course, we are going to drop a bomber wing and fire a Nova cannon. We're going to drop it on top of Mr. Lanceboat and see if it scatters. See if it goes. It's just going to crank you. And that means D6 hits. Shields first. 4 hull points, crippled, and 2 shields. For crits. 2 crits. Critical hit is going to be a 9, which is bridge smashed. Leadership -3. Second one is going to be an 8, which is thrusters damaged +1 damage. So you're down to 3 hits now. And your speed's -10 until it's repaired. Phase, torpedoes are going to go off. They're going to move 30. So this salvo is going to hit blast markers though, and potentially just be destroyed.
Roll more 6s.
1 on a 6. Nope, just gets through. So that's going to be your turrets.
I'm crippled now, so
You are, that's right, yep, 4+.
Yep.
Gets 1, so it's down to 5 now. 5 attacks against armor 5+. That's your last 3 hits.
Destroyed.
Destroyed, no overkill, see what happens. 7. Hulk's going to move forward. 2 torpedoes fire off into the void behind it. Salvo. Next is a different target though. So it's going to go over to him. 30. And 2 turrets. So 4 left. See what happens. 1 hit. Is it a critical? Negative. Continue their move, which should put them, so another 15. They end up right there. So first things first, yeah, you'll drift and you'll leave a blast marker at the end of your move. So you're going to go forward 16.
16, yeah.
We would have removed blast markers at the end of the turn, but they were both in base contact with the ship, so they would have stayed. And on.
Fails.
2 contacts can reveal to be 2 idolators. And we can start movement, or finish movement, I guess, with your failed lock on. Yep.
And 25.
Moving, turn 90 if you want.
15 and turn 90. And then get in there right up close.
Might as well. Just head right in. Makes sense.
Guy. 15 and 30.
Making a turn.
And this guy is going to basically follow on the inside.
Yep.
So I think we're going to use the big guy first. He's going to shoot both, which
Yes,
are in
absolutely.
15.
A beam within 15 is dorsals and
Goes
is
to 16.
16, that's right. So a beam 16 would be capital ships, a beam 6 with a column shift 8 because of your range, because you're within 15.
On 5s?
On 5s, you got it. 5s all around. Looks
1, 2,
like 3. So my shield is down. It's rolling for crits.
Nope.
Nope. 5 more against this Dauntless, splitting the other side, not using his dorsals. Looking for 5s. 1 shield's down. Gonna try and cripple me.
Yep.
4
He's
plus.
going to shoot his lance. Zap.
Zat is a crit.
Nope.
As well. Capital ship a beam with a shift.
2.
2. 1. 5+.
Yep.
Oh, so 2.
6.
It's left here, and then you've got your last 2 idolators that can fire.
Separate.
Yeah, so this little guy is going to do his batteries.
1 dice. Looking for a 5. Gets it.
Gets it, takes a hit. Is it critical? Nope. And then a lance.
The lance as well, because he was able to. Gets
Hits. And
Not a crit.
nope. So he's taking 2 hits. Batteries, because they're left, front, right. You need 1.
Nope.
Doesn't get him.
And then a lance into the front guy, because why not?
Because why not? Yeah, splitting your fire doesn't
Miss.
hit. Alright, so crippled. Almost crippled. And we have to now decide on what we're going to do. So let's say special orders. Well, we're going to reload ordnance here. He's a mighty leadership of 7, while these 2 guys are leadership 9. So we're going to do him first on a 7. And he's going to blow the whole thing. He's going to move up 10. To there. He's going to pivot his 45. Like so. And then he's going to go another 10 to here. Guy, he can only move because he's minus for being in base space with blast markers right now. Oh, we'd probably remove these on a 2+, and these would fly away. He's going 10. Then he can turn 90. So he's going to go like so. And then he's going to go another 5 just across the T. The same thing here, 10, turning 90. And then he's going to go 5 more, which will end him pretty much on top of this ship. So we'll just be, my base is on top of, actually I'm just going to turn him because he's just going to float the same direction. I'll turn it back afterwards, like that. Guns, so I'm crippled. I have 3 firepower now for my batteries. I'm within 15 though, at a capital ship moving away, which is the second best kind. 2. So that's going to be 2, but I get a column shift back over for 2 still anyway. So on 5s, we're going to strip your shields. Get 1, so 1 shield down. It's here because he turned a little bit too hard. However, here...
You're good.
Yeah, it looks like I'm good. And so that means I've got my batteries, which are 6. 4 with a positive shift, so capital ship moving forward. It goes to 5, that's right. So 5, looking for 5s. Oof, alright, so there's the shields down and 3 damage. Looking for criticals.
Crippled.
Nope, but you're crippled. Ordnance phase. I forgot to move these guys last turn, but it's probably a blessing in disguise because we're going to go and bomber wave the heck out of that.
He's got 2.
It's pretty good. Alright, so just 2 d6 minus 2 each. So that's going to be 1 plus 3 is 4 attacks. Looking for 5s. Is it 5s or 4s? It doesn't matter. There's 1.
Yeah.
So that's kaboomed. 6. It's going to be 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Target lock.
Target lock.
He's 9.
Oh, for sure.
And his friend's also going to... Oh, I do hit him now. I gotta move him first.
Going for it.
So this little guy is going to move... Or no, he doesn't turn yet. That's right. I don't want him to turn yet because I want my turn later. Because he's going to slide right in and do a pivot.
So he's facing. This guy will get a free pivot if you want.
And so this guy is going to go as
he's going to lock on?
Yeah, he's going to try and lock on.
Yeah, leadership 9 because you rolled 6s for all your escorts. And he does.
They knew what was going on.
It's true. All they got to do is open the door for you to board me. Moving forward 10. Turning is 45 and then just moving in base to base so you can do his boarding action. This is the sum of all fears. Goes 46. 13. It'd be amazing if you somehow accidentally detonated this thing and killed both my little ships. Which is a thing. Try and lock on 2.
Might as well. Yep.
Does. Everybody's locked on. He's putting out 8 to the one side. So 8 against a capital ship of beam within 15. And locked on. 5s with rerolls. Rerolling all his misses. There's my shields. This little guy here, he is closing.
2 away, shift to 1. It's 1. It's all 1s.
It's all 1 dice. Yep. 5's locked on.
5.
Rerolled.
Again.
Nope.
His
lance. 4s. Hits him. Crit. Nope. 1.
Little guy shooting you. Hits you with his lance.
Okay.
Sorry, lance first.
Yep.
And doesn't crit.
No crit. And then his firepower. The same thing.
5.
With a reroll.
Nope.
All right, with the totals, I'm going to be plus 6 for basically my remaining hits. I have my enemy boarding me is crippled, and then plus 1 for the fact that I have a higher boarding value. So that gives me a total score of 9, my boarding value plus my modifiers.
Plus your turrets.
Plus my turrets, sorry, yep. 2 turrets as well. So total is 6, 11. You've got 4 remaining hits. Your chaos for 5. And then I have blast markers on me for 6. So I'll get plus 5 to this roll. We dice off right now. Whoop. Yeah. So the difference is going to be 5, which means you take a hit for every point of damage for every hit you lost it by. And there's a chance that each ship suffered a critical hit during the fighting is shown on the table below. It's not a stalemate, so you will you're overwhelmed, you automatically take a critical hit, so we roll on the critical hit table.
Well, and you're just hit for everyone I just blew up.
That's right. So we're just going to roll on the catastrophic table and see what happens. It's going to be a 7, you're drifting Hulk. Exploded now, and it goes to be my turn. I call it because you've got 2 baby ships left. I have a crippled cruiser and an almost crippled light cruiser, and my Mars has pretty much blowed up everything else. All right, so there we go. The Imperial successfully defending the data pack in the final boarding action. So that's probably going to be useful here, because we're just discussing it off camera, is talking about the big differences in the video game to the tabletop game. And one of them, and it was pretty much the deciding factor in this game, is the Nova Cannons.
Yeah.
So how does it work in the video game compared to here?
The Nova Cannon does a huge amount of damage, but it is not a reliable hit, and it is not as much potential damage. So often, if you have your shields fully up in the game, or even partially up, they often absorb most of a Nova Cannon's hit.
Right. So it's like 200 health it does, basically.
It does about 200 damage. They might have adjusted it whenever you're watching this video.
Right.
But they do about 200 points of damage, and most of the cruisers and up have 200 shields, at least.
So it's like rolling a 2 when you do a direct hit with a Nova Cannon, basically.
Yeah, and it gets even more useless when you get into bigger ships. Like battleships have 400 shields.
Right, so you're not even taking the shields down.
You're using 2 Nova Cannons to break the shield, and then your third Nova Cannon to do 5% of its, or 10% of its health.
Right.
Which is usually not that big a deal, because they'll just bounce right back from that. And once they close in, well, your big main gun was the Nova Cannon. Other than that, you're just like macro or plasma batteries, and you're trying to fight against guys who are lance and macro and whatever else they've got.
And I got perfect dice there. I spiked dice. I hit you directly, and then I rolled a 6 on damage, which just instantly cripples a ship in this game. Yep. And that was the other thing, is crippling is much different
crippling
in
is
the game.
very different, for sure. Different is the way to put it, because boarding is a big thing in the video game. Lightning strikes, boarding actions, boarding torpedoes, boarding craft. They're things you're using all the time, because that's the primary way to cripple someone.
Right.
Using weapons does work. You can target specific systems. So, for example, you can aim for weapons to try and... So, I could intentionally try and attack his weapons to reduce their effectiveness, like make it so they don't fire or like are destroyed, and you can't fire torpedoes anymore.
It's more like critical hits are in the tabletop game.
That's what it's like.
Than it is like being crippled, because being crippled in Gothic is huge, because all of a sudden everything that you do is halved. Your turrets are halved, your shields are halved. You don't have nearly the same effectiveness as you do in a normal game, which is a pretty distinct difference in the video game.
That does not exist.
Right.
There is essentially just the critical. Yeah, the critical is a better example, because that's more what it is. Those effects are reducing your speed drastically. Reducing your leadership. You can't, if your bridge gets destroyed, you can't issue orders to your guy. You can't speed up. You can't lock on, stuff like that.
Whereas for me, I actually was the underdog in this mission, because my carrier had a leadership of 7, which was terrible. And I had 1 shot with my Nova Cannon. If I had not hit perfectly with that Nova Cannon and basically destroyed that slaughter, which was the and then torpedoed it to death too, and actually like murdered it, it would have been a completely different game, because if the
Carnage, I think that you
was the Carnage I killed?
Yeah,
that's right, the slaughter was the gunsling. Yeah. So if I hadn't killed that ship, the 2 Dauntlesses were dead for sure, because there would have been another Chaos Cruiser just splitting between the middle of them and broadsiding on both sides. And I've got my carrier by itself now, unable to use its main gun, probably unable to actually reload its bays, which is its main like point defense system. Launching troops, getting nickeled and dimed, and then being overwhelmed and boarded.
Because the little guys will one lance.
Yep. Well, once they're behind me, it can't shake them ever. So I literally had 1 chance in this ambush to try and fight my way out of it, and I managed to spike dice and do it. So it might have seemed lopsided in that first turn, but if it had not done what it did, this game would have been probably over in the same amount of time, with me having lost the data pack and having a Mars either crippled and limping away. That's right. But definitely bored and overwhelmed, because you would have gotten the data pack off me for sure. So it was interesting. It was really cool to see the tabletop game. There's a ton of similarities between it and the video game. I think the mission's a good one. I would scale it up though to probably about 1,000 points, because it would go a few turns longer then to try and get away, because stuff dies I think a lot faster in the tabletop game than it does in the video game.
I don't know. I've seen some crazy stuff happen, mostly involving orcs.
And
orcs and chaos, actually. Chaos do it as well.
Cool.
Like the Nova Cannon seems like the big killer in the tabletop. Boarding and bombers are the big killer in the video game.
The bombers are pretty good in the tabletop too, especially when you get to big like battleship level carriers. But in this case,
well, the thing that they do it in the video game is the fact that there are so many more.
Right.
Because there is a light chaos cruiser that has 2, and so you're like.
First of all, you said light chaos cruiser, which for a Gothic player is like, what's that?
So it's a light cruiser.
Those exist for one thing.
Chaos, and it has it has like 9,000. So it'd be the equivalent of a 45 centimeter macro battery on both sides. And then it also has 2 ordnance bays, and I think a prow lance. It's just got everything it needs to go into a situation, and
it's always relevant somehow. Basically,
and even late game, you can just have this thing sit in the back and just launch ordnance,
spit out waves of
unending waves of bombers.
Wow!
And more waves is better than big waves. I've noticed in the video game. So like if you have like 3 waves all come in at the same time, the turrets seem to have less of a chance of messing that up.
That's interesting, because that's the opposite. Oh no, actually that is true actually in the tabletop game too, because you can only fire your turrets at 1 wave of ordnance each round.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you do overwhelm with multiple small waves, you'll still reduce your dice roll for hits for bombers by the amount of turrets that are there, but more waves will get through as you basically like pile them through with
because I've seen Imperial Mars ships just disappear under
absolutely
7 or 8 waves of bombers just came in all at once, and it's just like, and he's dead.
Is the Styx amazing? Because that's really that's the ship, right? The Styx is the
I
chaos
don't use
ship.
the Styx.
Really?
That light cruiser's so much better.
That's true, I guess.
You can
it's
bring
fair.
2 of these guys.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, oh, you get 4 launch bays, or I could have 2 launch bays, and they can also be in 2 different spots.
That's fair enough. Yeah,
They
it
cost
just moves your
slightly
ship
more,
around basically. Yeah.
But they're also faster. Are they faster? I don't know.
I don't
not
play it,
nearly
so I
as
have no
durable.
idea. No, of course not. No, nothing's going to be a heavy cruiser. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun to basically try and transfer first to see the tabletop game moved into the video game and have it explained to me, and then try and move some of the stuff from the video game into the tabletop game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you for more of this in the future. Until then, I'm Ash, this is Owen. Happily.